Deep in the heart of Whispering Pines Forest, where ancient trees whispered secrets of centuries past, a legend stirred among the villagers. They spoke in hushed tones about the creature that prowled under the moonlit canopy, its presence felt but rarely seen. Old Marla, the village storyteller, recounted tales of a time when the forest was young and the world untouched by human hands. According to her, the monster was a guardian spirit, born from the earth itself to protect the sanctity of the woods. Its form, she said, was ever-changing, sometimes a shadow darting between trees, other times a mist that swirled eerily at dusk. The villagers respected the boundaries set by the creature. They knew better than to venture too deep into the forest after nightfall, when the air thickened with an uncanny silence and the stars seemed to hold their breath. But curiosity has a way of beckoning the brave. One chilly autumn evening, young Thomas, known for his boldness and disregard of warnings, dared his friends to accompany him past the forbidden grove where the monster supposedly dwelled. Despite their protests, the lure of adventure was too strong, and they crept into the darkening woods, armed with nothing but flickering lanterns and nervous laughter. As they ventured deeper, the forest's usual symphony of rustling leaves and chirping crickets faded into an oppressive silence. Thomas led the way, heart pounding, senses alert to every snap of a twig and every whisper of the wind. Shadows danced around them, and fear gnawed at their resolve. Suddenly, a low growl echoed through the trees, freezing them in their tracks. The lanterns flickered, casting eerie shadows that seemed to take shape. Panic surged, but before they could flee, a figure emerged from the darkness. Not the monstrous horror they had imagined, but a majestic creature with eyes that glowed with ancient wisdom. It was the forest guardian, standing tall and imposing yet radiating a strange serenity. Its form shimmered, blending with the trees and the night itself. With a voice like distant thunder, it spoke directly into their minds, warning them of the dangers of trespassing into realms beyond mortal understanding. Thomas and his friends, humbled and awestruck, listened as the guardian recounted tales of humans who had dared to desecrate the forest in ages past, only to meet dire fates. It spoke of balance and respect, urging them to heed the warnings passed down through generations. As dawn broke over Whispering Pines, the creature vanished into the mist, leaving the young adventurers shaken yet enlightened. They returned to the village with a newfound reverence for the forest and its enigmatic guardian, vowing to share the tale and uphold the delicate harmony between humanity and the wild. From that day forth, the monster in the forest ceased to be a symbol of fear. Instead, it became a guardian spirit, a reminder of the mysteries that lie just beyond the edge of comprehension, waiting for those brave enough to seek the truth. And in Whispering Pines, the legend of the monster in the forest continued to grow, whispered by the trees themselves and kept alive in the hearts of those who dared to listen. Years passed, and the tale of the guardian of Whispering Pines Forest became ingrained in the fabric of the village. Thomas and his friends grew older, their youthful escapades tempered by responsibility and wisdom gained from their encounter with the forest guardian. The village thrived in harmony with the woods, its people mindful of the boundaries set by the ancient creature. They honored the forest's gifts, taking only what was needed and leaving no trace of their presence behind. The once feared monster became a symbol of protection, whispered about in reverence rather than fear. Yet, as with all tales intertwined with mystery and magic, new challenges emerged. A wave of outsiders, drawn by stories of the forest's beauty and the elusive guardian, began to encroach upon Whispering Pines. They came with cameras and curiosity, eager to capture the essence of the legendary creature and unravel the secrets hidden within the ancient trees. Among these newcomers was a determined researcher named Dr. Emily Hayes, an expert in folklore and mythology. She had heard whispers of the guardian and sought to unravel the truth behind the stories that had captivated her since childhood. Armed with modern technology and a deep respect for the natural world, Emily arrived in the village with hopes of gaining the trust of its inhabitants and exploring the forest's mysteries. Thomas, now a respected elder of the village, greeted Emily with cautious optimism. He recounted his own encounter with the guardian, warning her of the delicate balance that existed between the human world and the realm of the forest spirits. Emily listened intently, her academic curiosity tempered by a growing sense of reverence for the ancient traditions woven into the fabric of the village. Over weeks spent in Whispering Pines, Emily earned the trust of the villagers and ventured into the forest accompanied by local guides. She documented rare species of flora and fauna, marveling at the pristine beauty that had remained untouched for centuries. Yet, the guardian remained elusive, a fleeting presence that seemed to observe their every move from the shadows. One moonlit night, Emily ventured deeper into the forest than she had ever gone before, guided by a strange intuition that whispered of an impending revelation. The air grew thick with anticipation as she approached a clearing bathed in silver light. There, amidst the ancient trees, stood the guardian, not as a monstrous apparition, but as a shimmering figure of ethereal grace. The creature regarded Emily with eyes that sparkled like starlight, conveying a silent message of caution and respect. In that moment, the researcher understood the true essence of the guardian, not as a mere legend, but as a living embodiment of the forest's soul, entrusted with the preservation of its secrets and the protection of its delicate balance. With newfound humility, Emily bowed her head in reverence, acknowledging the privilege of bearing witness to the guardian's presence. She captured images and recordings, not to exploit or sensationalize, but to preserve the spirit of Whispering Pines for future generations. As dawn broke over the forest, Emily emerged from the depths of Whispering Pines forever changed. She shared her findings with the villagers, weaving together scientific observation with the ancient wisdom passed down through generations. Together, they forged a deeper bond with the guardian, reaffirming their commitment to safeguarding the delicate harmony between humanity and nature. And so, the story of the monster in the forest evolved once more, from a tale of fear to a testament of reverence and respect. In Whispering Pines, where ancient trees whispered secrets of centuries past, the guardian stood as a silent sentinel, watching over the land and its people with quiet dignity and unwavering grace. As seasons passed in Whispering Pines, the presence of Dr. Emily Hayes and her discoveries about the guardian stirred ripples beyond the village. Scholars and enthusiasts of folklore and environmental conservation journeyed from distant lands, drawn by the allure of the ancient forest and its enigmatic protector. Among these visitors was Professor Michael Langley, a renowned ecologist fascinated by the interconnectedness of ecosystems and mythical narratives. He arrived with a team of researchers, eager to study the unique biodiversity that thrived under the watchful gaze of the guardian. Michael's approach combined scientific rigor with a deep appreciation for the spiritual significance of the forest to the villagers. Under the guidance of Thomas and other village elders, Michael's team established research stations throughout Whispering Pines. They conducted extensive surveys, documenting rare species of plants and animals that had adapted over centuries to coexist with the guardian. Each discovery deepened their respect for the delicate balance maintained by the ancient creature. Meanwhile, Emily continued her studies, delving deeper into the cultural history of the forest and its guardian. She pored over ancient manuscripts and listened intently to the oral traditions passed down through generations. Through her efforts, she uncovered tales of past encounters with the guardian, revealing a tapestry of respect and awe that had endured through centuries of human presence. One particularly poignant story spoke of a time when the village faced a severe drought, threatening their crops and livelihoods. In their hour of need, the guardian appeared before the villagers, guiding them to hidden springs and teaching them ancient rituals to restore balance to the land. The drought subsided, and the villagers emerged with a renewed understanding of their interconnectedness with the natural world. As Emily pieced together these narratives, she realized that the guardian was not merely a mythical being, but a manifestation of the villagers' deep-seated respect for the forest and its resources. It embodied their collective stewardship of Whispering Pines, ensuring its survival through generations of human habitation. One crisp autumn evening, during a communal gathering at the edge of the forest, Michael and Emily shared their findings with the villagers. They spoke of the guardian's role in maintaining biodiversity and preserving the delicate ecosystem of Whispering Pines. Their words resonated with the villagers, reinforcing their commitment to sustainable practices and reverence for the forest's ancient guardian. In a symbolic gesture of gratitude, the villagers and researchers collaborated to establish a conservation initiative aimed at protecting Whispering Pines and its guardian for future generations. They enacted measures to limit human impact on the forest, promoting ecotourism that respected the guardian's boundaries and supported local livelihoods. Over time, Whispering Pines became a beacon of harmony between humanity and nature, celebrated for its pristine beauty and the ethereal presence of the forest guardian. Visitors came not only to marvel at its natural wonders, but to learn from its timeless wisdom, embodied in the guardian's silent vigil over the land. And so, the story of the monster in the forest evolved into a testament of cooperation and mutual respect, bridging the gap between folklore and scientific inquiry. In the heart of Whispering Pines, where ancient trees whispered secrets of centuries past, the guardian stood as a reminder of the enduring bond between humans and the natural world, a bond forged in reverence and preserved through understanding. As years passed, Whispering Pines thrived under the guardianship of the ancient creature, its presence becoming an integral part of the village's identity. The conservation efforts led by the villagers and researchers bore fruit, ensuring that the delicate balance of the forest remained undisturbed. Sustainable practices and a deep respect for nature became ingrained in daily life, passed down through generations with the stories of the guardian. Dr. Emily Hayes continued her research, collaborating with Professor Michael Langley and other scholars to deepen their understanding of Whispering Pines. They uncovered more about the unique ecological dynamics shaped by the guardian's influence, documenting rare species and observing how the forest evolved in response to changing environmental conditions. Through their studies, they also learned about the guardian's interactions with the villagers over centuries. Tales spoke of its interventions during times of hardship, guiding the community to sustainable practices and imparting wisdom that transcended generations. The guardian was not just a protector of the forest but a mentor in the ways of harmonious living with the natural world. One winter's eve, a particularly fierce storm swept through Whispering Pines, testing the resilience of both the villagers and the forest. As winds howled and trees swayed, the guardian's presence was felt more strongly than ever. It moved among the villagers, offering silent reassurance and guiding them to safe shelters. Its ethereal form shimmered through the storm, a beacon of calm amidst nature's fury. In the aftermath, as the village emerged to assess the damage, they found the forest remarkably resilient. Trees that had stood for centuries remained steadfast, their roots anchored deep into the earth. It was as if the guardian's presence had fortified the land, protecting it from the storm's worst ravages. Inspired by this event, the villagers renewed their commitment to stewardship of Whispering Pines. They expanded their conservation efforts, planting native species and restoring habitats that had been affected by the storm. With guidance from Emily, Michael, and their team, they implemented sustainable forestry practices that respected the guardian's domain and supported the forest's natural regeneration. As word of Whispering Pines spread, so too did awareness of the guardian and its role in the delicate ecosystem. Researchers from around the world sought permission to study the forest, drawn not only by scientific curiosity but by a reverence for the ancient creature that watched over it. Collaborative projects flourished, bridging cultural and disciplinary divides to preserve the forest's rich biodiversity. In time, Whispering Pines became a model of coexistence between humanity and nature. Its story spread beyond the village, inspiring communities worldwide to embrace sustainable practices and honor the wisdom of their own natural guardians. The legend of the monster in the forest transformed into a global symbol of hope and resilience, reminding people everywhere of the power of respect and cooperation in safeguarding our planet's precious ecosystems. And so, in the heart of Whispering Pines, where ancient trees whispered secrets of centuries past, the guardian continued its silent vigil. It stood as a testament to the enduring bond between humans and the natural world, a bond nurtured by generations who had learned to listen to the wisdom of the forest and its ethereal protector. As the years unfolded, Whispering Pines grew into a beacon of harmony and sustainability, guided by the wisdom of the forest guardian. The village became a model of ecological stewardship, drawing visitors from far and wide who sought to witness firsthand the serene coexistence between humanity and nature. Dr. Emily Hayes and Professor Michael Langley continued their research, their findings published in prestigious journals and shared at international conferences. They documented the thriving biodiversity of whispering pines, from rare species of flora that flourished under the Guardian's watchful eye to elusive animals that found refuge in the untouched depths of the forest. The Guardian itself remained an elusive yet ever-present figure in the villagers' lives. It was seen occasionally by those who ventured deep into the woods, a fleeting glimpse of shimmering light or a distant echo in the wind. Its influence, however, was felt by all. The villagers continued to honor its boundaries and traditions, conducting ceremonies and rituals to express gratitude for the forest's abundance and the Guardian's protection. One summer, a group of renowned environmentalists visited Whispering Pines to study the village's sustainable practices. They were impressed by the villagers' deep connection to the land and their commitment to preserving its natural beauty. Discussions ensued about replicating Whispering Pines' model in other regions facing ecological challenges, sparking a movement toward greater global cooperation in conservation efforts. Meanwhile, Emily and Michael delved deeper into the cultural heritage of the village, uncovering ancient artifacts and oral histories that shed light on the origins of the Guardian. They learned of ancient prophecies foretelling the arrival of a protector sent by the spirits of the forest to safeguard Whispering Pines from harm. These revelations deepened their respect for the Guardian's role and strengthened their resolve to ensure its legacy endured. One crisp autumn morning, Emily and Michael made a groundbreaking discovery during an excavation near the heart of Whispering Pines. They unearthed a stone tablet engraved with symbols and glyphs that told the story of the Guardian's creation. According to the ancient text, the Guardian was born from the collective consciousness of the villagers' reverence for nature, a manifestation of their deepest aspirations for harmony and balance. Excitedly, Emily and Michael shared their findings with the villagers, who gathered eagerly to hear the tale of their beloved Guardian's origins. The discovery cemented Whispering Pines' place in history as a testament to humanity's ability to coexist harmoniously with the natural world, guided by mutual respect and understanding. As the sun set over Whispering Pines that evening, the villagers gathered around a bonfire, their faces illuminated by its warm glow. They sang songs of gratitude and shared stories passed down through generations, honoring the Guardian and the forest that had sustained them for centuries. And so, the legend of the monster in the forest evolved into a story of resilience, unity, and hope. In Whispering Pines, where ancient trees whispered secrets of centuries past, the Guardian stood as a silent sentinel, a reminder of the enduring bond between humanity and nature. Together, they forged a future where the wisdom of the forest guided every step, ensuring that Whispering Pines would remain a sanctuary for generations to come. The years that followed were marked by continued prosperity and harmony in Whispering Pines. The village became a haven not only for its thriving ecosystem, but also for those seeking solace and inspiration in nature's embrace. Visitors from distant lands marveled at the lush greenery, the clear streams that meandered through ancient groves, and the sense of peace that pervaded the air. Under the watchful eye of the Guardian, Whispering Pines flourished. The villagers, guided by the teachings passed down through generations, maintained their sustainable practices with unwavering dedication. They expanded their conservation efforts, collaborating with researchers and organizations to protect endangered species and restore habitats that had been damaged over time. Dr. Emily Hayes and Professor Michael Langley continued their work, their studies contributing to a growing body of knowledge about the intricate relationships between biodiversity, cultural heritage, and sustainable development. Their research inspired new generations of scholars and conservationists, fostering a global movement toward environmental stewardship and respect for indigenous knowledge. As whispers of Whispering Pines spread across continents, so too did the legend of the Guardian. Folklore and scientific inquiry intertwined, deepening humanity's understanding of the interconnectedness of all living things and the importance of preserving our natural world. The Guardian's story became a symbol of resilience and hope, a reminder that with reverence and cooperation, humanity could forge a sustainable future for generations to come. In time, Whispering Pines became not just a village, but a living testament to the power of community and the enduring wisdom of the land. The Guardian, though rarely seen, continued its silent vigil, a spiritual guide for those who sought to live in harmony with the earth. And so, in the heart of Whispering Pines, where ancient trees whispered secrets of centuries past, the Guardian remained a source of wonder and reverence. Its presence transcended time, embodying the spirit of a village united in its commitment to safeguarding the natural world. As the sun set over the horizon, casting a golden hue over the canopy of trees, the villagers gathered once more, their voices lifted in song and gratitude for the Guardian that watched over them, ensuring that Whispering Pines would endure as a sanctuary of peace and harmony for all who cherished its beauty.